things are finally starting to fall into place. Things are getting better. Finally, right? And if you're watching this video, if this video found you, you can trust, my friend, that you are ascending. And you are ascending quite quickly, I might add. But first, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Hannah, and I help people to own their powers and step into the driver's seat of their own lives. And today, I'm going to be doing that by giving you an update on the energies of October 2023 and what that means for our collective ascension process, and also how to work with that for the most seamless ascension process possible. Because these negative ascension symptoms, they aren't necessarily required on this journey. Usually the negative ascension symptoms that you're hearing about, that you're experiencing, they can come about as a result of resisting the ascension process. Usually if you're kind of surrendering to the ascension process, it gets to be fun and easy and it doesn't have to be painful. So hopefully that's what we're going to be addressing today. So if you've been following my channel a while, you might notice this is the first time I'm doing an Ascension update video. I've just received a download that I need to do videos every month on the Ascension energy. So this is going to be a format that I continue with down the line, and we'll see how it goes. Because guess what, friends? We're basically in like the Ascension end game. At the same time, it's the beginning game, right? It's a whole new beginning, but things are getting more and more serious with the Ascension. It's all very exciting. And so it's going to be more necessary than ever to really be aware of what is happening with these energies and how you can work with that in the most effective way possible. And if maybe you've heard of the Ascension, but you have no idea what it is, or maybe you've never heard of it and you're confused, like what the hell am I talking about right now? You can check out this video I did up here on exactly what the Ascension is to fill yourself in. So first, Ascension update point for October 2023. Unity versus separation tug of war. This is going to be a thing more and more, because really the whole ascension process is the process of returning to unity consciousness, of remembering that we are all connected, that we are all one, that we were never really separate from each other, from God, from the universe, that we're always connected all the time. Humanity's biggest wound, humanity's core wound, honestly, is separation. It is separation from source. We feel abandoned by source. We feel alone, disconnected from others and from life. But as we ascend, we're going to remember that we were never separate and that we've always been connected, protected, and loved, as I like to say. So how this is going to manifest on more of a like 3D plane in layman's terms is like this month, you may be feeling like a very strong tug of war between to hermit or to not to hermit. You might be feeling like you have to just be alone to process things and sit with things. You might even feel scared to go connect with others because you've been traumatized in the past. And yet at the same time, there's this strong drive to connect with others, to put yourself out there in ways that you've never put yourself out there before, to really find your community and to not settle for less, to not settle for that hermit life. So it can feel really uncomfortable. And the more you resist this, the more uncomfortable it's going to feel. But know that this is what is playing out. You are essentially just playing out this ancient ascension cycle of unity versus separation. So I would encourage you in working with this, you really want to just take time to sit with yourself and listen to what you truly want to do in this moment, and then do that thing. Maybe it is to hermit, Or maybe it is to put yourself out there and to go on a date, to go to a meetup group, to try a new class, something like that, something that feels out of your comfort zone, but at the same time, it's kind of like calling to you to do. One way or the other, balance is going to be key here. I sense that for October 2023, it's going to be a very, very balanced month between being in your own energy and being in the company of others. Point number 2 for the Ascension energy of October 2023, learning to receive support. Say it with me, my friends, learning to receive support. And you know what? While we're at it, let's kind of wire in a mantra for integration, if you will. I want you to type in the comments below, and I want you to say this aloud because both are forms of really wiring this in, planting these seeds in your physical reality. And this is what I want you to say. I choose to receive support. Okay, I choose to receive support because guess what? October 2023 is a month of receiving support. Doesn't that sound nice? This is something that you're probably not accustomed to. So even if it sounds nice on a conscious level, this more than probably anything else, you are going to be resisting. It's going to feel very uncomfortable and maybe even scary. But rest assured that this support that you're receiving this month, you can trust it. This support is pure. Now is just a question of whether you can choose to receive this support, whether you can choose to trust it. In other words, this whole month really is about you get to have nice things. You really, really do. And I know in the past, it's been hard because maybe you had a nice thing and then it was like torn away from you in the most brutal way possible. You were abandoned, you were betrayed, you were stabbed in the back. And so now when you have like nice things coming in, you're just like, I don't know about that. I don't know. This doesn't feel safe. This feels really uncomfortable. And I can tell you, we're only like a week into this month. I've already experienced this like every day, like multiple times every single day. And it's really a challenge every time. I have to check myself and be like, okay, I choose to receive support. It is safe to receive support. So for example, I had to get some big packages from customs here in Berlin because I just moved here. I sent myself some stuff from back home in the US and it got stuck in customs. So I had to go pick up these big, heavy packages. One of my classmates volunteered to help me to like carry these packages and to go get them. And it felt really nice on one hand, but on the other hand, I was just like, no, I got to do it all on my own. No, I can't trust you. Like, clearly, you're going to want something from me in exchange for doing this for me, because in the past, I've had a lot of narcissistic connections, and it's like, it's always transactional, right? They always want something. So I was really resistant to receiving this support, but eventually I surrendered to it because this classmate was very persistent. And long story short, she helped me and it was really nice. And she honestly didn't want anything in return. It was just pure service that she wanted to give me. And she really made that clear to me in the end. She's like, you know what? In my culture, which is the Turkish culture, we're just all about community and giving and taking care of others. And she's like, so I just genuinely want to help you and you don't have to pay me back. It's totally cool. And I could feel that in her energy, that she was genuine. And still, there was a part of me, the voice in me that's like, oh, this is uncomfortable. I can't trust this, right? And like I said, this has happened many times. This is just one example. Many times in the past week, this keeps happening. And it keeps happening to my friends and my clients as well. So know that if you've experienced similar things where someone's offering you support, maybe even just the universe is offering you support, but it feels uncomfortable, like you can't trust it, probably that's not reality, and that's just your trauma talking, which leads us to our next point. Point number 3 is, as I like to call it, trauma llama attacks. So basically, your trauma llama is the entity that is all of your trauma. And I like to call it the trauma llama because it sounds silly, right? It's hilarious. So instead of being like all angsty and like, oh, that's my trauma, man, that's my trauma talking, I'm just like, oh, there's my trauma llama again. And it kind of puts this like lightness, this freshness onto the whole kind of topic of trauma. And I find that instantly, just by calling it the trauma llama, it transmutes things. So first off, recognize your trauma llama for what it is. It's a trauma llama, okay? It doesn't have to be this serious thing. 2, know that your trauma llama is probably going to be on the attack this month. And yet, kind of going off of that, you're going to start to recognize your trauma llama for what it is. You're going to recognize your trauma from reality. You're going to start to see like, oh, hey, no, this person genuinely wants to help me. They're a genuinely good person. And the part of me that doesn't feel like I can trust them, that's not like my intuition reading their energy. That's my trauma llama. That's my trauma talking, because in the past, I've been taken advantage of so many times that that's just what's become comfortable. And that's what I've come to expect. So you're going to have these flare-ups of trauma. And also, you're going to start recognizing the trauma for what it is and discerning between trauma and reality. And if you aren't, one way you can work really powerfully and quickly with this month's energy is to ask yourself, is this my trauma llama talking? Or is this actually reality? Just with anytime there's a trigger, anytime you're like doubting yourself, you're doubting someone else or their intentions, ask, is this my trauma llama talking? See what happens. I'm sure this alone will completely transform your October 2023. So point number 4 is that there's this increased sense of community, which also might feel uncomfortable. Are you starting to recognize a theme here for the month of October 2023? Overall, the theme seems to be like, nice things are coming in, right? We're getting the rewards. We're getting the things we've always said that we wanted. And yet at the same time, it feels really scary and uncomfortable because we're so unaccustomed to having nice things, to experiencing nice things. But the nice things are only going to continue as we ascend. And a huge part of that is community. So in the past energies, we as light bringers, light workers, star seeds, dragon souls, whatever you want to call yourself, we had to do things alone because we were like lighthouses. This is the analogy I like to use. Lighthouses are always quite separate from each other because it's kind of pointless, right, to have multiple lighthouses in the same area since their light expands so far out and it covers such a wide area. You don't need to have a lot of lighthouses together. And we are like these lighthouses with our energy. Each of us has been strategically placed in separation from each other so we can light up our own unique vicinities. However, as we ascend collectively, this is changing. We are allowed to be closer and closer to each other because there's going to be higher and higher concentrations of light that we are anchoring onto the planet. So it is more than okay for lighthouses to be in closer vicinity to each other because eventually there's just not even going to be a nighttime anymore. There's going to be no darkness. All that there's going to be again is light. That is kind of the point of this ascension. We're moving from duality reality of the third dimension, which is all about, light versus darkness, good versus evil and stuff. But at the end of the day, we're all one energy, and that's the energy that we're returning to now. So on a more mundane level, you're going to start to see this as a sense of community. You might start meeting more and more members of your soul family, people that you just instantly click with and you can trust. Just going off what I said earlier, it's like people are going to offer you support. At first, you might not feel like you can accept it or trust it, but you can because things are shifting and you are manifesting your soul family into your life, and you're going to come more and more into community. You might feel a call to, go out to more events where there's going to be a lot of people, or even to host your own event or start some sort of movement. This is all going to be very common under these energies of stepping into community this month. And if you're out there and you're still feeling isolated, you're like, I don't know, Hannah, I still have no one in my vicinity that understands me, I'm alone, check out my private community, the House of the Spirit Dragon. There's going to be a link in the description below. I'll also leave one in the comments for your convenience. But this is my private community where we learn about spiritual topics together. We develop our psychic abilities and we support each other on this ascension process. And you are more than welcome to join us there. We would be so happy to have you. This month, October 2023, we're going to be focusing on mediumship in the house. So I would love to have you there, especially if you're feeling alone and like you're feeling isolated, like you don't have a community. This could be where you start to tap into that energy. So finally, 5, the 5th sign is that you're going to start seeing payoff for all the hard work you've been doing. Yay! We've been waiting for this our whole lives. And in fact, not just these lives that we're living now, but like all of our past lives on Earth, basically. Most of us have been working towards this for many, many millennia. And now we're finally seeing the results. Specifically this month in October 2023 with the eclipses, you might notice themes tying back to about 2 years ago, this time 2 years ago, 2021. So you might want to think back to what you were doing, what the themes were at that time, because this month you are probably going to be wrapping that shit up and stepping into new energy. But either way, this is a time where like old, painful, toxic cycles are ending and new, hopeful, healthy, balanced cycles are beginning. It's a really, really exciting time, especially coming off of the energies of the last couple of months, which have been really heavy and really trying, really triggering for people. This is like the results of all of the hard work that you did in those past 2 months. So you can think of the past 2 months as like this big final exam, and it was stressful and you were just doubting yourself the whole time. You're like, clearly I'm going to fail this exam. This is awful. Well, now my friends, the results are in. And probably the results are going to be that you did much better than you realized you were doing. And you're going to start to be receiving these rewards and to see that you were in a higher standing than you thought you were. So all in all, my friends, this month, October 2023, we are paving the way for higher consciousness and multidimensionality. We're stepping into it faster than ever before. Things are happening. They are changing. Things are getting better. It's all very fun, very exciting. Even when there's triggers and when you're feeling alone and isolated and in resistance, celebrate that, my friends, because that will transmute that energy quicker than if you're wallowing in it. Of course, you want to take the time to feel these feelings, like when there's heaviness and stuff, but it's more about setting boundaries with feeling your feelings and then making a conscious choice to be like, all right, I felt my feelings and now I'm going to transmute that shit and I'm going to step into higher consciousness and receive my just desserts. So all in all, the energies of this month are very supportive. And again, if you would like to receive support from me and a bunch of other amazing light bringers, you can check out the House of the Spirit Dragon, and we are happy to support you there. And also, if you could let me know in the comments, how many of these 5 signs do you personally relate to so far, wherever in the month you're watching this? How many are you experiencing, and do you have any specific examples that you'd like to share with the class? As always, if this video provided you with some sort of support or value, it resonated with you in some way, me and the dragons and all your fellow light workers would very much appreciate if you could like this video, subscribe, hit that notification bell to be updated when I post my super erratic schedule, and also to engage with this video in some way, because all of these things help me to reach more people that need to hear this. And then in turn, more people are able to receive support on their ascension journeys, which is often a very isolating and painful, trying process, as I'm sure I don't need to tell you, right? So if you could do this, me and the dragons would love you forever. Of course, we're loving you forever anyways, my friends. Sending you so much love on your ascension journey. As always, stay powerful.